Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. Today we need to show evidence that shows that the pool was drained at some other point, which I think might be either this picture, which honestly doesn't make sense. So it's probably not that picture, or it is that picture and I just don't get it, why it would make sense. Or it's torpedo, so, when never drained unless the pool is being cleaned. Well, okay, when you say it that way, it could be this. I'm gonna start with the picture because it's the only drained pool we have, and then torpedo.
Objection!
Music didn't stop, baby, so I'm wrong. This evidence clearly exposes the witness's lie. It does? In what way? It does indeed expose something, the defense's boneheadedness. There is nothing untoward about the evidence, no matter how you bluster. I agree. There is nothing compelling in that evidence. Torpedo, then?
Objection!
No. Okay, shit. Your Honor, what is your opinion on the witness's statement just now? Oh, that's new. My opinion? My opinion is there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, this is my first trial in 8 years. It looks like I made a little mistake. That is no excuse, Mr. Wright. I should give you 8 years worth of penalties. Thank you for not doing that, though. It's been 8 years. Can you go easy on me? Consult, please. Because apparently I'm an idiot. Mr. Wright, I think I have something here. You sensed something wrong with the testimony? That's right. Let me show you what statement I thought was strange. Thanks. That's a big help. And then I'll just need to compare the evidence with the statement he shows me. Which statement? If there were no water in the pool, the orca would die. I mean, not instantly. Which statement, though? What would be good? I mean, I guess it's partitioned off, right? So maybe here?
Objection!
Music stop, baby! If the water was in the pool is drained, you say the orca could die. But is that necessarily true? What are you talking about? There's a way to let the water out without harming the orca, isn't there? Your Honor, please allow me to submit this photograph. Look at this photograph! You doodled on it. Oh, this is... As you can see, there's no water around the Skull Rock area. With the pool in this state, the victim could have been made to fall to his death. However, there is water on the other side of the partition. And Orla looks just fine. Son of a gun. In other words, if the partition is set up at the bottom of the pool, the water can be drained without doing any harm to Orla any harm. Are you implying the water could have been drained at the time during cleaning, other time during cleaning? Yeah, there is a possibility. Let's check their water bill. That the crab is shaking. Looks like it has something to hide. Could it have been something to do with the calendar note about meeting the victim? It might be. I'll submit it to the judge. Your Honor, please take a look at this calendar. Ah, you waved that around in court yesterday. No need to drag out your souvenir today. Actually, I would like you to make a note of the entry of the day of the incident. Let me see. Meet the captain at the orca pool at 7 a.m. This note is about meeting the meeting plan with the victim. What? The defense would like to argue that at the time of the meeting, the pool may have been drained of its water. Whose calendar is this? It belongs to Dr. Herman Crab. Isn't that right, Dr. Crab? Son of a gun! So you suspect me, do you? What is the meaning of this calendar entry, Dr. Crab? Explain yourself. Fine. I was supposed to meet Jack at the orca pool at the time. But I ended up not going. So you're saying you simply broke your promise. You can't get out of it that easy. Don't you know a promise is everything? I believe you have some explaining to do. You look like a taller, thinner Dr. Wily from the back. Your blade is sharper than I thought, Wright Dono. But your cut was shallow. A mere surface scratch. There's a saying amongst prisoners. Do not see, hear, nor speak to smooth-talking lawyers. If you think the witness is suspicious, show your proof. The calendar alone isn't good enough, huh? I have to prove the victim could have fallen to his death at 7 a.m. during the meeting time. Let's put our heads together, boss. The victim could have fallen during cleaning when the pool was completely drained. Or using the partition, it could have been at 7 a.m. when the water was partially drained. What would be the major difference in circumstances between the two possibilities? Circumstance was... What circumstance was different? The answer could really tell us. What circumstance was different between the two possibilities of cleaning at 7 a.m.? I guess that the orca was there? Yeah, I guess. If the murder occurred at the time other than during cleaning, the orca must have been there. Huh, you're right. And that would mean that Orla witnessed the murder. Let's put her onto the stand. What's this? You're sheathing your sword so soon. Stop yammering to each other and show me how to yield your sword. Alright then, my sword is poised and ready. If the murder was committed at the time other than during the cleaning, then Orla must have been present at the scene. If I can prove the murder happened right in front of Orla, then I can prove Ms. Buckler's not guilty. Why would she not be guilty if the orca witnessed it? Order in the court. Mr. Wright, are you implying the orca was a witness to a crime? That is exactly what I'm implying. And how do you intend to prove the orca witnessed the murder? What are you going to do? Put the orca on the stand and cross-examine her? This is a critical point. I better think about it carefully. The defense will... Are you gonna make me cross-examine Orla? That's silly. That's silly. I don't know. I mean, it's on her tail, so... And it's not being covered by our hat, right? So you know what? We'll present evidence. Defense will present evidence. Evidence that will prove Ola witnessed the murder. You're going to present evidence? Knowing the defense, I thought surely you would try to cross-examine the orca. You know, we might. I'm not sure yet, though. I must say I'm a little disappointed. Gee, sorry to get your hopes up, Your Honor. Very well, let's see the evidence then. I'm assuming this is the right course of action because of the options.
Take that!
This photo indicates where we discovered luminol reactions yesterday. By accident, we got some of the luminol testing fluid on Orla. We were then very surprised to see luminol reactions on Orla's body.
Objection!
So what of it? There's nothing odd about that. As we discussed in yesterday's trial, the orca was bleeding. Traces of the orca's blood was also found on the skull rock. The orca must have injured herself when she rammed the rock. So that clot of blood Miss DePlume saw was from Orla's headbutt in the skull, was it? But why would it be on her tail? Those luminol reactions you saw on the orca are most likely from her headbutting. But it's on her ass! Well, what's odd is the position of those bloodstains. Please take a look at the photograph. Again. Yesterday, Ms. DePlume said the blood disappeared when Orla put the hat on. That testimony indicated that Orla's injuries were under the hat area. However, these luminol reactions are in two entirely separate areas from her injuries. The bloodstains can't be Orla's own blood from when she was headbutting. Then, where did the blood come from? It's my firm belief that it's the victim's blood. The victim was killed right in front of Orla. And the victim's blood splattered on Orla's body. Gah! Now it's finally all making sense. Orla was a witness to the murder. So that's why. Orla! Boss, something's wrong with Orla! What? You're right. She's listless and... I mean, she's not gonna testify. She's a fucking orca. There's one more fact that indicates Orla was a witness to the murder. There's more? The culprit was afraid Orla could somehow reveal what she witnessed. And that's why they did what they did. It's the only thing that makes sense. I have to present that evidence. The evidence to prove culprit thought was dangerous is this.
Take that!
The defense would like to submit this evidence. What is this? It looks like some sort of medicine. It's a sleeping drug, Your Honor. A very powerful one. This sleeping drug was discovered in Orla's stomach yesterday. The culprit tried to drown Orla by putting her to sleep in deep sleep. Tried to drown the orca, but why? Right, Dono. Are you trying to tell this court that the perpetrator tried to kill the orca off to prevent a witness from talking? Do you really expect to defeat me with that feeble attack? Ha! My sword has been drawn. I'm not about to sheath my own evidence yet. Orcas have an enormous potential for intelligence. The possibility that Orca could somehow manage to reveal the truth can't be denied. Reveal the truth maybe, somehow, but I don't even know how that would be possible. The culprit believed in this possibility, and that's why he tried to kill her. Dr. Herman Crab, you purchased this sleeping drug, didn't you? What? Does this mean the veterinarian tried to put away the orca? Did I read that right? To do away, okay. Who but a veterinarian could know how to disguise an orca's death? He could even prevent the police from examining Orla's body. Why you? Are you actually accusing me of trying to murder the orca? How dare you? How dare you slander the noble profession of a veterinarian? Eek! 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 My goodness, one could cut the tension in this court with a knife. Yeah, I admit to purchasing that sleeping drug. However, it was subsequently stolen from my lab. That's such a flimsy excuse. Yeah, it's the truth. What else can I say? Anyone in the crew members could have entered my lab. I guess that weakens my evidence quite a bit. Not really. Besides, I think about it for a minute. Who was it that treated Orca after she swallowed the drug? That makes more sense. It was I! But as I recall, it took you quite a while to give that treatment. You didn't even come on your own. We had to go get you. Son of a gun. You just remember all those sorts of little details, don't you, Mr. Lawyer? The orca pool and the lab are far apart. It's a little wonder he didn't know Orla's condition.
Objection!
Didn't know? That's highly doubtful. As far apart as they were, Dr. Crab still has a way to know about Orla's condition. The defense would like to show this torpedo.
Take that!
The torpedo. Ah, you just had to bring that up, didn't you? With this advanced data system, surely he would have known Orla's condition.
Objection!
Wait just a minute. What is this torpedo? Dr. Crab, how dare you bring a weapon of mass destruction to our courtroom? The torpedo, or that name, is a data system. Until yesterday, only Dr. Crab and Mr. Shipley knew about the torpedo. It isn't legally approved in this country, so it was kept secret from the police. It's illegal, Dr. Crab. I demand an explanation. Oh, son of a gun, you and your big mouth, Mr. Lawyer. Yeah, it's true. I'm using an illegal system to monitor the creatures at the aquarium. The system uses sensors like these, and yes, there's one in the orca pool too. These sensors send sound waves through the water to gather data on the creature. It finds abnormalities in the condition, and the torpedo alerts me with the sound. Oh my goodness, how very high tech. But if it's illegal, I will not turn a blind eye. This matter will be appropriately dealt with at a separate time. Now then, Mr. Wright, please continue. With the torpedo, I'm sure Dr. Crab noticed the danger Orla was in, but he made no attempt to come to her aid on his own. And the reason for that is, Dr. Crab wanted Orla dead! The torpedo didn't give me a warning message, and so I didn't know there was anything wrong with Orla. The sensor in the orca pool wasn't working during the police investigation.
Objection!
Can you prove that statement?
Objection!
What's with him? I guess this is all so high-tech that Prosecutor Blackwell that it's making him a little funny. Funny? Yes. I find this all very funny. Witness, those sensors send waves through the water, correct? But what if there isn't any water? And then they wouldn't work. They would not actually switch off. I see. And where is the sensor in the orca pool located? I don't know. Jack is the one who attached it for me. So the pool was drained. That's why it didn't show that it was in a weird condition. You don't know? Then I will tell you. The police found a sensor just like the one you showed us. They found it attached to the table at the bottom of the pool. Table? Oh, where the lamp is? Do you mean this table in the photograph? That's right. Don't you get it yet, right, Dono? The table is on the Skull Rock side of the partition. It's affixed to the bottom of the pool and can't be moved. Oh, so if the water was drained from the Skull Rock side of the pool... Precisely. Without water, the torpedo sensor would not work. Witness, when did the sensor automatically switch off? Hang on, I'll look it up. The only times lately were during the cleaning 2 days ago and the investigation yesterday. And of course I knew the pool would be drained while they cleaned. But I had no idea they'd drain it for the investigation. No one let me know. That's why I didn't know about Orla's condition yesterday. So Dr. Crab really did want to save Orla. Haha, did you hear that right, Dono? Yes, the water can be drained without harm to the orca if the partition is used. But if the water is drained from the Skull Rock side, the sensor turns itself off. So if the sensor was always on except for during the cleaning and the investigation, it means there must have been water in that pool at all other times. It was never drained. In other words, no one but the defendant could have committed the crime. Ah! Trying to think why that is. Oh, because it was only turned off during cleaning. Okay, never mind, yeah. This completely shatters the defense argument. Yeah. But... Fact still remains Orla was nearly killed with Dr. Crab's sleeping pill.
Objection!
But aren't you forgetting one important question? When was the sleeping drug given to the orca? You're right. Well, that hasn't been discussed yet, has it? The orca pool is in the scene of the murder. The police were there all day yesterday. The only way to give the drug to the orca undetected is to put it in her food. Yesterday, someone gave the orca food during the trial. Someone did? I'm afraid I don't remember that. You don't remember? You're not that old yet, are you? Oh, he's not listed here? He's in his 50s, right? It was the defendant, Sasha Buckler. No, it wasn't. Oh. No, but... I guess she did feed her. But at the end, Rhymes was feeding her like buckets of fish, right? So your argument is Miss Buckler is the one who gave the orca the drug. The prosecution argument hasn't changed. Buckler made the victim fall to his death and then manipulated the orca to pin it on her. Still not satisfied, she further planned to kill the orca with the sleeping drug. Huh, I didn't hear any reports of Dr. Crab feeding Orla. Maybe he didn't have a hand in Orla's attempted murder after all. But is there anybody else who could have fed Orla besides Sasha? If this is true, the defendant is the one who fed the sleeping drug to the... If it's true, the defendant is the one who slept the... Let's try that again with actually correct English. If it's true, the defendant is the one who fed the sleeping drug to the orca, congratulations, Chronos, then that places even more suspicion on her.
Objection!
Defense objection to the prosecution's claims. Well, well, you still haven't admitted defeat. Prosecutor Blackwell, I don't appreciate the way you only mention the parts that are only convenient for you. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? The prosecutor failed to mention that Ms. Buckler wasn't the only one to feed Orla. As you all recall, there was another person who gave Orla food. Oh, you mean that person? Looks like Athena remembers now, too. Oh, question marks? Feed. Yeah, he fed a fucking ton of fish to him. So it is Rhymes, then. Oh, Mr. Wright, no! I don't want to believe it, either, but we can't ignore the truth. The only other person who fed Orla during the trial was...
Take that!
Please recall when Orla was found not guilty yesterday. Marlon Rhymes gave the orca a large quantity of food. If the sleeping drug was mixed in with that food, it could be given to the orca without arousing police suspicion. Now that you mentioned it, I do remember that flip-flopper feeding the orca.
Objection!
Huh. So you remember, do you? I see that time for a true sword fight has come. I called Marlon Waynes to the stand. Marlon Waynes, Chronos? Look, Marlon Rhymes. Mr. Lawyer, both Ms. Orca Lover and Marlon Rhymes are important members of our crew. I don't want to suspect either of them, but I'm ready to accept whatever truth you find. Here, take this. That charm. It's a charm that matches the one Azura Summer had, isn't it? So you and Miss Summers were romantically involved, weren't you, Miss Dr. Crab? What? No, of course not. Sorry to disappoint you, but this doesn't belong to me. At the time, I thought it was Azura's, so I grabbed it, but it wasn't hers. Now it's up to you, Mr. Lawyer, to figure out whose charm it is. I will. Thank you very much, Dr. Krabs. After all, I'm interested in the outcome of the trial, too. Now then, please summon Marlon Rhymes to the witness stand. How many times did I call him Marlon Waynes? What's going on? What's everyone making a face for? I haven't been watching the trial and nobody's told me anything. Marlon Rhymes, you are under suspicion for the attempted murder of the orca. I see. Well, if it's already out... Mr. Rhymes? Is he really gonna admit to it? Fine, I'll tell you the truth. Okay, one second, I want to read this. The truth! Oh, we didn't get a new one? Wait. Oh, it's... Oh, we didn't have the other one. Oh, really? We didn't have the other one? Okay, cool. Alright, the truth. Sasha's lying to protect the orca. At 3:30 a.m. on 20th, there was still water in the orca pool. The incident happened before the orca was moved to the show pool. Orca killed the captain by bashing him 30 feet high and making him slam to the water. So I thought the orca should pay the consequences. So we're back to the orca again. I did not see that testimony coming. Now, just wait a minute. Yesterday, Orla was proven innocent. That's called double jeopardy. We don't do that. Besides, you said Orla was in the show during the cleaning. I didn't want to sell Sasha out. That's why I didn't tell the truth. But the fact is, all three of us, the captain, Sasha, and me, were cleaning the pool room. But Dr. Crab and Ms. Buckler both said you were at the show stage. Well, the only thing Dr. Crab knew about the cleaning was what I told him. I didn't give him the whole details either. Maybe he misunderstood. Okay. And Sasha's lying to protect the orca. She can't tell the truth. Sasha put blood on the skull rock herself to fake the blood stain. I think it's pretty brave of her to let herself get arrested to protect the orca. Mr. Rhymes, that's stupid. How can you lie like that? It's the truth. Besides, wouldn't it be better for you if I wasn't lying? If the orca did it, you win your case. What? This is all very hard to believe. But if Mr. Rhymes' story is true, Ms. Buckler would be innocent and the Orca would be the killer. Meaning if we turned our backs on Orla, we could save Sasha. Having a witness lie to save your own client? What a very dirty, underhanded tactic, right, Dono?
Objection!
Yesterday, the defense proved Orla was not guilty. We have no intention of going back on our assertion now. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? All you gotta do is admit the Orca did it and Sasha goes free. Isn't a lawyer supposed to act in his client's best interest? Legally, yes. Like, it has to be, like, legal. You don't accept perjury knowingly, anyways. But that wouldn't be acting in her interest. Miss Buckler believes Orla is innocent. And we, of course, believe that Ms. Buckler herself is innocent, too. Acting in the client's best interest is an important part of our job as a lawyer. Using dirty means to win a verdict would destroy our client's faith in us. That's right! We believe in both Ms. Buckler and Orla's innocence. Huh? I just don't understand how you can treat a human and orca equally. Sasha or the Orca, you can only save one of them. No, you can save both of them. Ha-ha! I don't know about that. I think I can save both of them. All I have to do is disprove your testimony. Oh yeah? Then go ahead and try. I will do just that. If I can't tear down his testimony, I won't be able to save both of them. I have to find a weak spot and start tearing. Alright, so we're gonna press, of course. What stood out as wrong, though? What exactly do you claim Ms. Buckler is lying about? Sasha put the bloodstain on the skull rock and stuff herself as... What do you mean? Put the bloodstain on the skull rock and stuff herself. Oh, and other stuff, or as false evidence. She left fake traces to try and save the Orca. Witness, if you keep talking nonsense, I will seal your mouth shut. Defense supports the prosecutor's idea. But Mr. Wright, my testimony helps your client. You gotta be happy. I want to save both Orla and Miss Buckler. I won't accept anything less. Now that's understood, please continue your testimony. Fine. What the hell's Marlon Wayne's up to these days, anyways? When the victim was killed, how much water was in the pool? It was before the pool was drained for cleaning, so it was full. You went into the Orca pool room, saw this yourself. Dr. Crab said you were at the show stage.
Objection!
But it's possible that Dr. Krabs was misinformed or that he misunderstood. No one has already explained this. Why are you taking this meaningless task? Attack. If you want to play games, Takahiro would be more than happy to play with you. You may be careful how he pressed the witness. Taka is watching us like a hawk. Because he is a hawk. Witness continue.
Hold it!
So you're saying the incident took place before the cleaning began? Yeah, I guess so. Captain Sasha and I were going to go do the cleaning together. It's much more efficient than trying to have just one person do it alone. In the defense's case, however, more lawyers simply means more lawyers, nothing more. What? You're one to talk? All the other thing you said is a cantankerous bird. What about me? I'm all up here all alone. Are you people done? Huh. You need the witness to keep you focused? For shame, right, Dono. You're just as bad. Hey, I was the only one who kept my mouth shut. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the incident happened at the Orca pool before cleaning got started.
Hold it!
Can an Orca even do that? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Send a person flying up in the air. Yo, fuck yeah, dude. Yep, of course. I've seen Orcas bashing seals 60 feet into the air. So naturally, Orla could do that to the captain, too. What a frightening thought. And you mentioned it so casually, Mr. Rhymes. Well, what else can I say? It's the truth. Mr. Rhymes is claiming that Orla killed the victim by sending him flying into the air like he just don't care. But would something like that even be possible in the Orca pool room? There's something about that statement that bothers me. And so you witnessed this moment the victim was killed by the Orca, is that right? Exactly. We have a diagram, right?
Hold it!
And that's why you put the sleeping drug in Orla's food. Ahoy! Yo, 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 ho, ho! Sasha could be found guilty if you let her be, but if the orca died, Sasha could go free. And I thought if the orca was already dead, Sasha might tell the truth and free herself. It might seem cruel, but a man killing an animal has to be put down. The company must have tried to do away with Orla because she was the witness to the crime. Okay, 1 second. We don't have a diagram. Why don't we have a diagram? You took our diagram? Ah, okay. So the autopsy report, right? I was gonna say I don't think there's 30 feet above the pool, but then again, I guess I was wrong. But if Mr. Rhymes is the culprit, why would he try to protect Sasha? Huh? This is a very complex emotion for Mr. Rhymes. I need more information before I can do a proper analysis. If I'm gonna tear his testimony, then I guess I have to present evidence. Of course, we don't believe Mr. Rhymes' testimony. But he's suggesting the murder took place in the orchid pool. Unless we disprove that, we won't be able to save both Orla and Sasha. Alright, so 30 feet in the air like you just don't care.
Objection!
When lies are piled on top of each other, there we go, contradictions start to emerge. This time is no different. Are you saying there's some kind of inconsistency in my testimony? That's exactly what I'm saying. You claim that the victim was sent flying about 30 feet into the air. But the autopsy report shows the apparent cause of death as being a 60-foot fall. What? Additionally, in your testimony a moment ago, you said at 3:30 a.m. on the 20th, there was still water in the orca pool. With the pool being 65 feet deep, there was only 30 feet between the water and the ceiling. If the pool was full of water, as you claimed, it would be possible for the victim to fall 65 feet, as the autopsy states. Ah! Mr. Rhyme claimed he was in the orca pool room so he could make these statements. But the truth must be he was at the show stage just as Dr. Crab and Sasha testified. I believe that brings us back around to the orca didn't do it. I didn't believe the witness's testimony from the outset. I'm grateful to you, Wright Dono, for shutting the witness up. As I thought, the only person who could have killed the victim is Sasha Buckler. The fact still remains whether the witness was the one who tried to kill the orca or not. Son of a... Mr. Ryan was right about one thing. His testimony was advantageous to our case. But pointing out the contradiction in his statement will only drive us into a corner. As Prosecutor Blackwell said, suspicion against Ms. Buckler is now deepened. Uh-oh. I don't do something fast, the judge is going to find Sasha guilty. Mr. Wright, is there anything we can do? There has to be a way to prove Sasha is innocent. At a time like this, the thing to do is turn my thinking around. Instead of trying to prove that Sasha couldn't have done it, I have to think about what made it possible for somebody else to have done it. As long as the crime scene is in the orca pool room, then Sasha's the only one who could have committed the crime. No need for pity or baldness. Just finish him off with a swift verdict. It appears the defense has no objections. That's bullshit! Objection! I will give my verdict. Objection! Yeah, hold it. Your Honor, please hold off on the verdict. But you were so quiet, Mr. Wright. Do you have something to say now? The defense has a counter-argument. You do? Pitiful. Such desperation. You look pale. I don't get much sun. And also, you're one to talk. Are you sure you're prepared to make a counter-argument? Yeah, what? Phoenix is like 2 shades darker than you, man. The worst of times when lawyers have to force their biggest smile. I'll never forget those words, no matter how many years will go by. Even though it's probably just a bluff, I'll give it to them with a smile. Haha, I'm smiling now. What if the scene of the crime was somewhere else? The scene of the crime? Somewhere else? What? You're finding fault with the police investigation now? Yeah, it's not the first time. As I understand it, the prosecutor's argument is as follows. The scene of the crime was the orca pool room. Only the defendant and the victim entered that room when there was no water in the pool. Therefore, only the defendant could have committed the crime. That is correct. But if the scene of the crime was not the orca pool room, then somebody other than the defendant could have committed the crime. Are you sure you know where you're going with this? I might not be too sure, but I can't back down now. Already started. Mr. Wright. I hope that I'm wrong, but this isn't one of your bluffs by any chance. Haha, of course not. That judge knows me too well. And do you have a theory on where the actual scene of the crime was? Yes, of course. I think Phoenix thinks. Thinks? Think of a place other than the orca pool room where one could fall to one's death. And by all means, share your theory to the court. Where was the real crime scene? I mean, I guess over here, right?
Take that!
The show stage might have been drained of water at some point as well. And if so, it would be just as possible to fall to one's death there as the orca pool. Right, Dono. What you're doing is a disgrace to your profession. I sincerely hope you have some basis for what you're suggesting. Of course I do. I will, as soon as I think of something. The victim's body was found in the orca pool. How do you explain that?
Objection!
And then moved it? How about if, after the victim was killed in the show stage pool, his body was moved to the orca pool? How about if? What kind of presentation of your argument is that? You better have a reasonable explanation on how the body was moved. There's no turning back now. I had to think of a way the body could have been moved. The crane, right? Crane or this, but I'm assuming this, right?
Take that!
The hoist runs between the orca pool room and the show stage. The stretcher can be hung from the hoist to move things like Orla or the Skull Rock. The stretcher could have also been used to move the dead body. Okay, sure, that too. If the stretcher can move the orca or the Skull Rock, it seems likely it could also move a dead body as well. Wow, somehow that worked. I just might be able to pull this off. If the show pool was the scene of the crime, somebody else could have done it.
Objection!
You desperately spew conjecture, and now you even make up a crime scene. I've broken my chains again. Eek. Then again, what the fuck are these things made out of? You have no soul of a warrior. You do not deserve to be on the battlefield. And even your fabrication is half-baked. It's a disgrace. What do you mean half-baked? That was a great movie. The hoist can be operated from the orca pool room only. Oh yeah, you're right. And the only person who entered the orca pool room was the defendant. So even if the body was moved, the only one who could have moved it was the defendant herself. Yeah! There's really no other way to move that hoist? Just one room that's locked by a keycard? That seems weird. Order. So if it comes back to the defendant, no matter which pool it is. Meaning, I can't clear Sasha either way. Sasha said she moved Orla in the Skull Rock. And I believe her. So could it possibly be that she moved the body herself without and being aware of it? Mr. Wright, do you have an objection to the prosecutor Blackwell's claim? Do I have an objection to the claim that the defendant moved the body? No, it was in the rock, right? So no. I have no objections. Ms. Buckler must have been the one who moved the body. What? Mr. Wright, are you admitting the defendant committed the murder? No, I'm simply conceding that she was the only one who could have moved the body. However, I contend Ms. Buckler was not aware that is what she was doing. There we go. The culprit made her move it, unbeknownst to her. The defendant moved the dead body without recognizing it was a dead body. How could that be possible? The body was found in the orca pool. It must have been moved there somehow. I might find some kind of hint in this thing in the thing she moved with the stretcher, the rock. The culprit made Ms. Buckle move the body along with the piece of evidence.
Take that!
The Skull Rock. Ms. Buckler told me yesterday that she moved the skull rock when she was cleaning. The only two things Ms. Buckler moved to the orca pool was Orla and the skull rock. I would like to suggest that the victim's body may have been inside the skull rock, which we know is a fact because we have a picture of it. Security camera. Hidden inside the rock, the body could have been moved to the orca pool with the hoist. At the search stage, Marlon Rains loaded up the skull rock with the body inside, and then he used the walkie-talkie to let Ms. Buckler know the rock was loaded. Ms. Buckler operated the hoist from the orca pool room and moved the stretcher. She moved the rock without knowing the body was inside. Do you really think there's enough space inside the rock to place a body? Swashbuckler flyer indicates it could be possible. Please focus on the question at the bottom left. Who will obtain the gold coins hidden in the rock? Okay. It says who will yes. I just read that. If that's the case, I suppose the rock is most likely hollow. What more is if the body was inside the skull rock, it explains the remaining unanswered questions, such as... Please take a look at the security footage of the scene Ms. de Plume witnessed. Where did that body Mr. Plume saw come from? Please recall, when Orla doing... what was Orla doing to the skull rock at the time? She was headbutting it. Oh! That's right. Orla's ramming released the body with the skull rock, from the skull rock. The body had been placed inside the skull rock and moved from the stage show stage, whatever. I assert that a real murder was seen was, in fact, a show stage pool.
Silence.
Ah, what rubbish is this now? You don't have a single scrap of evidence.
Objection!
It's easy enough to verify what I said. Take a look inside the skull rock for yourself. You should find some kind of proof that the body was there. Blood, fibers, hair. Ah, oh fuck! Where'd that sword come from? Mr. Wright, that was incredible! You turned things completely around! And to think, it all started with that half-baked bluff, too. Whew, that was a close one. Did you really have to add that last bit, though? If the murder took place at the show stage, then who is the perpetrator? It is naturally the person who was at the show stage. Mr. Rhymes, weren't you the one who loaded the skull rock onto the stretcher at the show stage? Well, Mr. Wright, that was some pretty smart brain work you did there. To be honest, I never thought you could figure it out. I tried to protect myself, so I guess it came back to bite me. Are you confessing you gave false testimony before Mr. Rhymes? That's perjury. Yeah, what Mr. Wright says is true. The body was inside the skull rock. And it's true the captain was killed in the show pool, too. What? He's admitting that easy? This time, I'm gonna tell the whole truth about what happened that day. I don't believe you. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. Next time. Thank you for watching. I will see you next episode. Have a great day. Bye.